Hey, it's your man StyleCon coming at you today with another video. And today we're going to be looking at a very special Seiko 5. This is the Kosuke Kawamura, if I'm pronouncing that right. I just recently picked this up, and you know what I do. I go the good, bad, and ugly review. Now, let's get into this. If you need to check out the specs, on the case, things like that, you can check it on the website, or there's other videos. I'm not here for that particular part. I'm just here to give you my opinions on this particular watch. And let's get into the good. First thing is the price. This retails for about $440, which I think is pretty good for what you get. I mean, I like this industrial look. It doesn't look like it's brushed, but it just has this look to it when you see it in person. I like the knurling. Obviously, I love the dial, how it's translucent, the two different color materials that make it up. I like where the crown sets. And what that is, this actually has a good resale value. Before I picked this up, I was checking out eBay. There's people trying to get $800, $1,500. Now, obviously, they're trying to get it. That doesn't mean they will, but this is limited to 3,000 watches. So once this sells out, I could see this going up in value, which is nice for a $440 watch. And like I said, for me, I have a smaller wrist, a 6 3/4, and the way these lugs go down, if I remember correctly, this is a 42 millimeter, and on my wrist, it actually looks great. So that's a bonus. Sometimes you buy these bigger watches, you put them on your wrist. I call it wings, or they just flare out. It doesn't look like it fits you. This one, you won't have a problem with that. It works great. Now, let's get into the bad of this watch. And first thing is, it's not a deal breaker. This is good to about 10 bars, which is about a little over 300 feet of water resistancy, but it's just a push-pull crown. I'm not a big fan of that. I mean, don't get me wrong, $440 isn't a lot of money for a watch, but I think for that, they should have given you a screw-down crown, which would make it a lot nicer, more water resistant. I mean, I worry about dust, things like that. This isn't going to go in the pool, but, you get in a dusty environment, that could play with it. The other thing is this stamp class. This thing is horrible. Now, the buckle itself isn't bad, but just it doesn't fit the watch, if you ask me. Everything else is decent, especially for the money. And I know Seikos are known to not have the best bracelets, but I think the bracelet's workable, it's serviceable, it's nothing bad. It's got a nice weight to it. So I will definitely not complain about the bracelet itself, but this deployant, I mean, it works. Has the signature of the gentleman here. It's okay at best, but then that's the bad part of it. Now let's get into the ugly of this particular watch. And with that, I think the ugly is the loom. It does have the loom on it. It's on the hands and on the pip. It's nice, but it doesn't last a long time. I'm talking maybe an hour, if that, on me, but it doesn't last a long time. But I didn't particularly buy this for the loom. I bought it for the look. I bought it for it being exclusive for a Seiko 5. I really like the look. I'm wearing this with like earth tone things like browns and greens and things like that. Tans, this looks really sweet with all that. And the worst thing I would say is for the $440 is the power reserve. If I remember right, it's about 41, 42 hours of power reserve. I think right now in this price range, you got watches doing 70, 80 hours of power reserve. I think a little bump, maybe 50, 55 would be nice, maybe 60, But obviously beggars can't be choosy. But besides that, I think this thing is a very good buy, especially if you can get this for retail right now. You might have something on your hands, maybe a year down the road. If you don't believe me, you can check out eBay and you'll see, like I said, once again, they're trying to sell these watches. Doesn't mean they're selling, but it's nice to know you spend $440 and you're not going to lose any money. Even though for some people $440 isn't a lot of money, they're not really concerned. But for me, I always think the end game, and it's nice to know, you know, you bought it for $440 and you're not going to get $5 if you want to get rid of it later on down the road. Once again, it's your man StyleCon. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. If you have any questions or comments, as usual, leave them down below, and I will check you out in the next video.